I may take advantage of this bullishness again. All right, a lot of money is going to be made next week. All right, price, let's take that out. Let's use the buy scenarios. Okay, so what you can do, you can just put stops, okay, somewhere at least slightly below these zones, and target these trend lines. Okay, you can see that trend line coming from all the way down here. All right, so that trend line all the way up there, almost 1:3 or even more. So what we're going to do, so this is more like a free signal. Hey peeps, FOREX right here, the prophetic analyst. Welcome back to our weekly market forecast for the week of the 27th to the 31st. So apparently this is the analysis for the last week of January. So without further ado, let's dive into the business of the day. All right, so we're going to start off with BTC. For BTC last week, and you guys can see how we predicted BTC all the way to the upside, and we were looking for BTC price, to rally all the way up there. And apparently due to the inauguration of the 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump, so we were looking for bullishness, knowing that Donald Trump is a big investor on the crypto market. So we were looking for bullishness, which you guys can see on the video how we predicted that, and price was very much bullish. So we had some nice good entries here and here, and which we also made some good money for ourselves from the process, and a lot of you guys also benefited from that because I was very big on taking this Bitcoin trade. So moving forward for this week, so where is our next level target? What should we be looking forward for on Bitcoin to happen? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys bullish and bearish scenarios, but first of all, let's go for the bearish scenarios because it looks more like price may be bearish. All right, so we're going to start from the weekly time frame. How price closed on the weekly time frame is very important that you know that. Okay, so you can see how price closed with this bullish candle, but with the bullish candle there, price closed with a wick. Okay, there is a wick there in which price closed, so it kind of shows that there are still a lot of sellers, okay, trying to pull price down. So working with this, we go back to our 4 hours. Okay, when we go back to our 4 hours, we can also see this trend line. All right, this trend line we have coming all the way from the downside. All right, so price more like we tested on that trend line when we were also, that's why I also spoke about the trend line as a means of take profits. If you guys watched last week's video, the trend line was our means of take profits too, because it also rhymes with our resistance level here. So for this week, we are seeing more like a chart pattern. Price looks like more like a head and shoulders right there on BTC. All right, like I said, I'm going to give you guys two-way scenarios. So what should we be looking forward for this week on BTC? So it will only make sense, and also price is more like a range. All right, the head and shoulders is also more like a range there, guys. So it will only make sense that we trade off the breakout. Okay, so for the bearish scenarios, we wait for a breakout there, a retest, and a push continuations to our next zone, which is our 95k all the way to the downside. Okay, if price is able to play this low, which will make a very nice juicy entries, and if that happens, I would really be ready to take those sales. Okay, so that's it for the bearishness, and either which way, if price goes bullish, okay, that means we now have price breaking out of this high, a retest, and a push continuations to the upside, and also that would be a break of this trend line and this resistance zones accordingly. Okay, so what would we be looking for on the bullishness? Okay, a break, a retest, and a push continuations too. And you know, price had its all-time high at 180k. All right, price clocked 180k. So we'll be looking for a new higher high to be created, which is a new all-time high, probably 190k. And retest back to either 180k, 18k, 19k. Then we should be looking for a push to the upside. So those are actually our bullish and bearish scenarios for BTC. Up next is a GBP USD. that does not happen for the bullishness, okay, we should be looking at price to patient enough for price to break out of these highs, okay, create a new higher high, a retest on our lower time frame, maybe the 1 hour or so, then we can go all the way to the upside somewhere around 1.248 area. For okay. GDP USD, we were very much, like I said last week, price was kind of closing fishy. Okay, so I actually had to give you guys the two-way scenarios, which it has been a pretty long time. I gave you guys the two-way scenarios on price movement. So price, we took advantage of the bullish positions or bullish trades, which also I shared free signals to you guys on the free Telegram community. So if you are not on a free Telegram community, please do want to click on the link on the description below to join our free Telegram community. There we send free signals and many more trades. Okay, so this trade was being sent out, okay, just like I anticipated last week, and we were looking for more like a break and retest of that zones. All right, you can see these are still the same zones right there. So price actually went to the upside, and there's also something I was mentioning last week's video, which was a cause of concern for us, which was how price actually closed for last week, okay, with the doji candle. Okay, so I made mention of this doji candle that is a cause of concern, and that doji candle is not just forming anywhere, it's forming on a support level, okay, which I spoke about it as cause of concern. So if you think we are capping or you did not watch it, here is the video. What for this week is very necessary. We look at the weekly candle, how it closed. You can see this weekly candle, the way it closed is it's kind of fishy though. It's more like a doji kind of candle. All right, it's more like a doji kind of candle. And where is price? Looking left, you can see price is currently seated at support. Okay, we had a little bit tapped, price tapped into that support. Welcome back. I hope you can see how we predicted GDP USD into bullish into precision. So you can see just the whole of last week, we had last week being super bullish, closing with a massive bullish engulfing candle, just like we predicted that price may be also going all the way to the upsides. And remember, 2 weeks ago we were also targeting our two levels, which was price to go to our 1.223 area and our 1.248 area. Okay, we may be having some pullbacks. All right, so it seems like some pullbacks would be very intense. Okay, so looking at GDP USD, we have two levels here, two levels of the, look at the level here of 1.23128 area. Okay, this level, okay, this first level and the second level. Okay, so mind you, this is the weekly time frame, so these are the two levels that you should be looking out for. So you can see how price clearly respected those areas, and we were able to take advantage of bullishness in different occasions to the upside for all these trades, which was this and this second one. Okay, so that's the essence of trading with our strategies. All right, with our strategies you can also trade the trend and also predict the reversals and take advantage of them. So moving forward for this week, where is our next level target, or what should we be actually looking forward for? All right, so I would be basing off the weekly time frame. All right, if you know areas of interest or how we analyze the market for a long time, looking at the weekly time frame, I always make mention of something in which price basically moves in a wave. All right, so price has been creating series of lows, a high, a low. So we are looking for price to create a new lower high, all right, here, then before we have more like a drop. Okay, I'm giving you guys a bigger picture of things. Okay, so all you just have to do is use your own strategy on how to make entries of this, and also capitalize on it and make the best out of it. So price is more like reacting off a very strong key levels. Okay, off a very strong key levels several times. So apparently price could still react of that area and give us, since we now have that retracement, like I told you guys, it's a retracement. That's why we took what we can, and we also close as much as possible. And why we also, most of you may ask me, why am I taking this retracement, guys? This retracement is a very massive retracement. Like I always tell you guys, my rules is, if I can spot a retracement beforehand, a retracement that will give me between 100 to 150 pips and above, okay, from 150 pips and above, I would definitely trade this kind of retracement because it's not worth waiting for price to sitting by the side and price is moving there. And you can see we have over 384 pips plus of retracement. So why would I be sitting on my arms watching price play out all of this? So we were able to keep some nice good bullish entries for between the 300 pips, and all this were also sent as signals on the free Telegram community, which I'm going to add it somewhere around in this video. Okay, so going back to the weekly time frame, like I said, we are looking for price to create a new lower high. We're looking for price to create a new lower high, so we would be having something like this, a retest on that zone. Then we can go back to targeting our 1.20, okay, 1.27 area. Okay, so remember, for next week may be a little bit tricky because price may also close with some same thing that happened here. All right, next week may be more like a range. Okay, price may also close with a doji kind of candle, and if you can spot that by next week, but let's next week come though, if you can spot that, that will also be a very nice reversal pattern for us to take advantage all the way to the downside. So that's it for GBP USD, and up next is Euro USD scenarios. Okay, because of how price actually closed for the week with that doji candle on the weekly time frame. All right, so if all things being equal, if this has to happen, you can also leverage on that. Okay, price breaking out of these highs and this highs creating a new higher high. You will look for your lower time frame retest and you go for the next levels, which is at 1.046. Okay, all the way to the upside. For Euro USD, you can see how we also took advantage of Euro USD. We sent free signals out to the general community. Apparently, we took all the USD trades for last week, and we had a 10 over 10 or 100 over 100 of price prediction to our areas. You can see how we took these trades all the way from down here, okay, all the way from this key level to the next key level. That's why I normally tell you guys you do trade from zones to zones. Okay, so and this move alone for just last week, let's see how many pips that was. Over 159 pips plus of movement to the upside. Or if you have to calculate all of these pips for last week, because price closed open somewhere around here, we had over 230 pips plus of movement for just last week. So that's what most of you or some of you might have missed if you are not on a free Telegram community. So like I said, signals are being sent, which I'm going to add it somewhere around here. So same thing, also how we were able to have that trade. Price also gave us something like a head and shoulders right here. So that break of the neckline, a retest and a push continuation to the downside. Actually a textbook kind of trade, very easy busy. And tell me why we won't make money off that. Okay, so let's go to the weekly time frame. Like I always say, it's very important you know how your weekly time frame closed. Okay, because with this information you can use it to gauge your next move or price next move. So just like I said on GBP USD, all right, price also closed in that of Euro USD was even clearer. Okay, because it closed with a doji kind of candle and with a green sentiment. Okay, indicating bullishness. Hence why I had to send you guys the two-way scenarios for last week. Okay, but I actually saw this coming. Even I've been monitoring these pullbacks. Okay, because like I always say, price moves in a wave. Okay, so a new high has to be created. So apparently we are still very much on a bearish trend on the higher time frame until price is able to clear these highs, right? That highs of 1.05 before we could say that we have a change in trend. Okay, so I'll give you guys a bearish scenario, all right, for now. So we could be seeing price reacting off this key level, which price is already there, 1.05, and a pushback continuations to 1.02 to the downside. So we could even have a little bit deeper retracement to our levels of our 1.06 all the way to the downside. Okay, but don't forget we are still targeting over 1,000 pips. Okay, so this is also an opportunity. We made over 300 pips drop to the downside, and we made another 300 pips to the upside, and now we'll have opportunities to take another 300 pips drop. So even if you want to calculate that, you will be making more than 1,000 pips. You should be making over 3,000 pips plus before price gets all the way to the downside. So that's actually our scenarios for Euro USD for this week. So up next is the DXY. All right, we are now still omitting the bearishness. Okay, the bearishness, you have to be very, very, very patient for price to play these lows. Okay, the retest there and don't hold more than 0.7. Okay, so you could have a deep retracement to 0.7. Back for the DXY, you can see how we predicted the SY into precision. I gave you guys the two-way scenarios, and the bearish scenarios played out nicely. We had that break, that retest, and nicely a push continuation to the downside. And if you look closely, you see at the time price let that created something like a chart pattern, which is more like a head and shoulders. Okay, so we had a very nice head and shoulders. The price went bearish, which you guys see how I predicted it into precision. So what is in for us for this week? Okay, we have to look at the weekly time frame. Okay, so price also went bearish all the way to the levels in which we also anticipated price to go to, which was these key levels of our 108, right? Our 108 area. So here on the weekly time frame, we could see we could have more bearish. All right, we could have more bearishness, all right, of price into this 106 before we have that proper continuation to the upside. But if price wishes to react off here and continue to the upside, it's still very much okay. So we'll go back to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so for the 4-hour time frames, you can see price could, for the 4-hour time frames, price could start rallying from here. Okay, maybe give us something like a range here, and before a continuation back to the upside. Mind you, this area here is more like an area of interest from the higher time frame. All right, so that area there is more like an area of interest from the higher time frame. So let me bring that back. So if we are also having more deep retracement, or we are looking for more pullbacks, all right, it will only make sense that we wait for price to give us pullbacks, all right, into these levels of our 107. Then we can sell continuations to our 106. But if price gets to 106, guys, don't hold past this area. Okay, 106, I know this is still 106, right, between these two zones. Okay, don't hold past between these two zones, because what we're actually trading right now is just the retracement. It's not the actual trend. At the time price will continue back to a bullish reverse back to a bullish trend on the DXY. So that's actually a scenario for the bearishness. For the bullishness, you can only mention price to be bullish if price is able to play these highs right there, all right, and give us a break, a retest, and a push continuation back to our 109 area. Okay, and what also caused this bearishness for last week? Price, you can see here, price opened with a gap somewhere around there. So it was a very nice textbook kind of trade. And like I said, a lot of money was being made for last week. So that's it for the DXY. Up next is USD CHF. So guys, you can see USD CHF was a very nice trade for us for last week textbook. Okay, you see how we predicted USD CHF into precision. We also had a very nice chart pattern right there. All right, this chart pattern, if you observe, was printing almost on all USD pairs. That's why I told you guys I send trade signals on all USD pairs. If you're on a general group, you see, all right, everybody were happy. A lot of people were able to make money. Okay, so you can also see that nice head and shoulders in which price printed there. And since we had a minor neckline here, so I had to take advantage of this minor neckline, and price giving us that break, that retest, then the push continuation to the downside. So this was a very nice trade. Signals were being sent, and a lot of money was being made off the process. So what is where is our next level target? Okay, so for next week we may have price, all right. If you want to see more bearish continuations, you have to be patient for price to play these lows, a retest, and the push continuations to 0.89 area. Okay, and if you are looking for bullishness, it's would only make sense if price is able to play these highs, okay, give us a break, a retest, and a push continuation back to our resistance level here, which is also a higher time frame key level, which is a 0.919 area. So also, if we go to our weekly time frame to see how price actually closed, all right, if you guys remember last week I was very concerned about where price was seated, okay. If you guys remember, I was very concerned about this resistance level slash key level which price was seated, and also price closed with this doji candle, okay. I hope you guys can see that doji candle right there. Price closed with this doji candle, which was a cause for concern for me, and I had to mention it on that video, saying that we should be having pullbacks, because when you spot doji candles like so on a resistance level, at most you should be having retracement. It's more likely shows retracement at the time, right? So our level target was price coming back towards 0.905 area. If you did not watch it, or you think we are capping, here is the video. As sales and make good money for yourself, okay. So this does not omit this candle here. Is a very kind of tricky kind of candle confirmations, which also shows that there may be some potential bearishness to at least 0.9 before the bullish continuations. Don't get me wrong, we are still very much bullish, okay. Trend is very much bullish on, but you don't expect price to come into such a very strong resistance levels on the higher time frame and just break it that easily, okay. Price has to gain some sort of momentum on the higher time frames too before the price continuations to the upside. And if that is being cleared, or our next level target would be 0.94 all the way to the upside there, okay. Welcome back. I hope you can see how we predicted that during this year, and price also respected that level which we wanted price to go so we may have bullish continuations from there back to our resistance level all the way to a 0.91 area to the upside, or we could even have deeper retracement. But those kind of retracement might look scary, guys, okay. We could even have deeper retracement of price to a 0.89 area. Then apparently at the time you could see price continue to the upside. So that's why it's always important to mark this out on your PC to follow price up as the play out. So that's it for USDCH. Welcome back. So for gold, you can see gold closed with a massive on the weekly time frame, that massive engulfing candle to the upsides, and we also predicted price to go into the upsides on our last week video, okay, which we also wanted price to come into these areas, right, that minor level you can remember, and the push continuations to the upside. So, okay, in case you did not watch the video or you think you are capping, here is for gold for this week. So I'm going to mark out these levels like so. So we're looking for price to come back into these areas and the push continuations to the upside. Always remember your first level target, which is our 2724 ounce. Then we can go all the way to as high as our 278 ounce, okay. So that's what we are looking for on the bullishness. So welcome back. You can see how we predicted price into precision. We know that gold has been creating series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and now we have price continuations all the way to the same level that we predicted, which was the 2786 ounce all the way to the upside. So this is why it's very important you don't joke with that signals. You should take it very important. You can see how that massive push to the upside, and a lot of money was being made out through this process, and price has been super bullish since then. So what is our next level target? So since price is very much bullish, okay, I'll give you, but for gold I'm going to give you guys two-way scenarios, okay. So I'm going to mark out a level like so. All right, so for next week we could be having pullbacks to this level and price continuations to the upside, or we could have pullbacks to this level to that support there, all right, and price retesting back into that level, all right, then the continuations to the upside. But for gold, it will only make sense to sell if price clears this support, okay. If price is able to clear that support right there, all right, that's clearing of that support there means an alteration of price action. So that's it for gold. Up next is the USDJPY. Guys, so you can see Usdjpy has been more like on a range for the longest of time, and we were able to predict that zones. Okay, so the bearishness of Usdjpy for last week, which but we did not actually send signals on Usdjpy, but just like you guys saw on the before video, everything played out into precision. Price clearly had to give us that breakout retest and the push continuations to our next zone. Just like I always say, you trade from zone to zone, guys. It's always important when you're taking your profits or taking your trades. It's important you exit or take partials when you get to your zone. So you can see how price reacted off these zones multiple times. Okay, reacted off that zones multiple times. So it's a very good opportunity for take profit and all. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to mark out an upside because we are still in a range. We are still in a range Okay, we have a bigger range here, and now we have a minor range here. So what do we do in this case? So what we are going to do, I'm going to take this out. So what we are going to do is let price do its thing. So since this is a range, we could be looking for a breakout of this high, the new higher high created, a retest, and we can now trail it to our 158 area to the upside. Okay, that's it for the bullishness. And for the bearishness, price has to break out retest and we target our next zone over 153, which is somewhere around here. Okay, so those are our bullish and bearish scenarios for Usdjpy. And please, if you are still watching this video to this very moment, please do well to smash the subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed. Turn on post notifications and drop a comment, guys. It costs $0 to drop a comment. That's the best way to supporting us on our content. Always like, share, and share our content, because this will give value for the kind of educational content, and have to continue doing this because we get inspired to helping you guys and seeing how we can help a lot of traders. We are around 2,000 subscribers. We are looking forward to get to 10k to 20k subscribers the year 2025. So that can only be possible if you guys help us by subscribing and also sharing our content to like minds. Okay, so let's know your thoughts on the comment section, and let's know where you are watching us from. Okay, drop a comment on the comment sections, and I'm wishing you guys a profitable trading week ahead. Always remember to plan your trades and trade your plan. See you guys next week, and cheers.